Okay, we're going to be working with evaluating algebraic expressions that involve cubed roots. So here we've got evaluate x divided by 4 plus the cubed root of x divided by 3. So our first step in working through this is to go through and actually substitute in, because they are telling us what x is worth. So we're going to go ahead and substitute in. Where I have an x, I'm going to put 192. So I have 192 divided by 4 plus the third root, or the cubed root of 192 divided by 3. Okay, so our first step is to always simplify wherever possible. So normally we follow PEMDAS, correct? Okay, so parentheses, we don't have any. Exponents or roots would be our next step. So I want to go through and actually simplify within this if I can to begin with, and then go through and find the cubed root of that. So if I take 192 and divide that by 3, 192 divided by 3 is going to give me 64. This is now the cubed root of 64. Okay, so if I take and find the third root of 64, what number times itself would give us 64? Well, if I try, I know it's a lower number, so let's try 4. 4 times 4 times 4 gives me 64. So this now is 4. And I also need to do 192 divided by 4. So 4 will go into 19 4 times, which gives me 16. I have 3 left over. Bring down my 2, 4 into 32, 8 times. So this is 48. Final step would be 48 plus 4 gives me 52. Okay, so there's not a whole lot that we're adding. It's just that now we're going to be substituting in what they're telling us x is worth. So very similar to the previous video that you watched. Okay, so here we've got 2 times b minus the third root of 9 times b, and b is going to equal -3. So my first step, I'm going to substitute in. Now, remembering that when I have a number right next to a letter, we are multiplying. It is not going to be 2 minus 3. It's going to be 2 times -3 minus the third root of 9 times -3. Okay, so parentheses we have, but that's just to show our multiplication. So then we're going to do exponents and roots. So here I've got a cubed root right here. I need to actually simplify the underside of that. So 9 times -3 gives me -27. So I'll rewrite it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and simplify that third root of -27. So let's see, 3 times 3 times 3 gives me 27, and I need a negative within that, so it's going to be a -3 for that. I still have this negative, very common mistake to forget to bring that down because you had a negative answer for this. And then -3 here and a 2. So now I'll do any multiplying or dividing. So 2 times -3 gives me -6. And I have to remember that when I have two negatives right next to each other, it makes a plus or a positive, so +3. So now -6 plus 3 gives me -3. Okay, that one was lots of steps, but once again, working through the process of that orders of operation, but now we're involving the cubed roots within it. All right, let's try one more. Same thing, remembering when we substitute in that we actually are looking at that as multiplication. So I have the third root of 8 times 64, not 864, plus 64. Okay, so we don't have any parentheses other than just showing multiplication. We're going to go ahead and simplify our roots. Okay, so 8 times 64. So 48, 49, 50, 51. So I get 512 for my simplification under my radical there. Plus 64. So now we're going to simplify the third root of 512. So I need to find what number times itself would give me 512. So I'm going to try 7. 7 times 7 times 7 gives me 3 43, that's too low. Let's try 8. 8 times 8 times 8 gives me 512. That's the number I need. Okay, so that means the third root of 512 is 8 plus 64. 8 plus 64 equals 72. Okay, so that's it. So the only step that we're really adding from the previous example that you were working with is substituting in. So remember, as you're working through this, that when you have a number right next to a letter, that you're actually multiplying those. So remember, it's not just going to be 864, it's 8 times 64.